Hey everybody, hope you guys are healthy and safe. So I just got my hands on the Galaxy S25 Ultra earlier today, and this is what is new with the S25 Ultra over the S24 Ultra. So it has a slightly new design. The corners are no longer super pointy, they're now a little bit rounded, so it's a little bit more comfortable in the hand. The phone is also 15 grams lighter than last year, and it has a 40% larger vapor cooling chamber. So you pair that with the newest Qualcomm Snapdragon chip, so you're going to get a device that's a little bit more efficient. The ultra-wide camera is now a 50 megapixel ultra-wide camera, an upgrade from the 10 megapixel from years before. So new ultra-wide camera, new design, new Qualcomm chip, larger vapor cooling chamber. That's all the new things with the S25 Ultra over the S24 Ultra. So that's about it for this video. I hope you enjoy the content. Thanks for watching. Alright, I'm just kidding, man. I can't end the video this early. Although what I've just listed, those are indeed the only new hardware changes. But the S25 Ultra did improve in software in many other areas. Now, none of these improvements are groundbreaking. Not a single software improvement it's going to be able to headline a marketing campaign. But when you add them all up, once again, they add up to more than the sum of its parts. So basically, with the Galaxy S25 Ultra, Samsung is further doubling down, going all in on the AI. I actually think Samsung's AI has been pretty good. Like, I'm not as critical of it or skeptical of it as some other reviewers. I actually thought circle to search was super useful. I thought Samsung's sketch to image is very fun to play with. And maybe because I like messing around with my friends, I like to, doctor photos and send them Photoshop stuff. So I actually thought generative AI photo editing was very fun too, as well as the live translation, interpretation, all of that. So I actually thought Samsung's suite of AI features were quite useful. And now the S25 Ultra gives you a little bit more, and it's a little bit more well-rounded. So the number one thing that Samsung's trying to do is make the AI a little bit more proactive. And to that end, the S25 Ultra is offering a new feature called Now Brief. This is basically a summary of your day, and apparently it's a little bit smarter than the typical Google Now summary. It will also take into account all the contextual information that you may come into throughout your day. Part of Now Brief is also this thing called Now Bar, which is a lock screen widget that will cycle through various contextual widgets. Like, for example, if you have a timer, it will show you the timer, but then if you're also navigating, it will swap to Google Maps to show you the next turn. Or conversely, if you called an Uber and the car is almost here, then that Uber card will flip to the front to show you your ride is almost here. And if your ride is far away still, then the card will sit in the back behind other more important, timely cards. Now, I only got a brief demo. It seemed to work pretty well, but this is something that I can't, nobody can really tell how well it works until you actually daily drive the phone for a few days at least. In addition to that, several AI features from last year are back with improvements. For example, Circle to Search now can also recognize audio instead of just identifying what's on the screen. You can use Circle to Search to quickly identify a song. Number two, the live audio transcribing, like on the S24 Ultra, you can use the Recorder app to record audio, and then it can transcribe what you say into very accurate text and also offer a summary. You cannot do that in a phone call. So when you're in the middle of a call, you have to hit a button to begin recording the call. And once you do that, the AI will also alert the other party that you're recording the call too. After you're done with the call, you'll get a transcription of that call, or you can summarize what you talked about. And again, I checked out the demo and it seemed to work pretty well. And the cool thing is, because I did the demo in Hong Kong, they did the demo in Cantonese, and it worked very well in Cantonese. And Cantonese is it's a very complicated language. It's a lot more complicated than the traditional Mandarin that people in China speak. It's very slangy. A lot of words have different meanings. So the fact that Samsung's AI was able to do a good summary of Cantonese gives me high hopes that it will be very, very smart in English, obviously. And then likewise, the generative AI image generation has also gotten a new feature. Previously, you can only do sketch to image, meaning you have to use the S Pen to draw like a dog if you want to generate a realistic photo of a dog. You can now do that with just text prompts. So you can just type in, and then Samsung's AI will generate an image in various styles. You can do it in sketch form, manga form, or photorealistic form. Again, a lot of people think this feature is very gimmicky, but I actually quite like it. I play with generative AI editing a lot. And being able to use text prompt in addition to sketch to image is very fun. And Samsung's the only phone right now offering you both options. What else is new? Oh, there's also a new audio eraser. So when you film a video with the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, or actually not even film a video, any video that you post on the internet, you can use Samsung AI to identify the audio in that video, and then you can just remove, like say, the background crowd noise, or remove the music, or remove the human voice. Camera right now is if you're so wide, I can hold it on screen. Still get my Facebook frame. And I'm talking right now, obviously there are lots of people talking in the background, so it's quite noisy in the background, but there's now this feature is not new because the Google Pixel also offer that. And from my testing, Samsung's version works just as well as the Google version. And then as you can see, the ultra-wide camera has also gotten improvement. It's a 50 megapixel sensor, so there's more pixels to play with. It's also going to shoot a pixel bin photo by default, so you get better dynamic range. Because the ultra-wide camera is now pretty good, 50 megapixel f1.9, and you have really good microphone and audio eraser. That makes the S25 Ultra a pretty good vlogging phone, like just a handheld vlogging phone. You can shoot yourself with the ultra-wide camera walking around a city, like I always do, and you can get pretty respectable vlog quality. Now, obviously, if you are a serious content creator, a serious one, you're gonna want to have a real camera or a DJI Pocket. But if you're a beginner content creator, it's nice to be able to do that with your phone. All these new software features I talked about is part of One UI 7. So One UI 7 will obviously roll out to like older Samsung devices like the S24 series and the Samsung Fold 6 eventually. But as of right now, it is exclusive to the S25 series. So once again, the new features of the S25 Ultra is mostly software based this year, and there are features that will also roll out to older devices. So once again, definitely, if you have the S24 Ultra, I don't think you need to upgrade to the S25 Ultra. But the S25 Ultra may be worth a look if you're on the S23 or older. Now, I already know my comments are going to be filled with people disappointed, saying this is very boring, because Samsung's not giving you like new hardware. And I mostly agree, because I'm spoiled. I get to test Chinese phones that are always pushing the boundaries of what's possible with hardware. But you have to remember, Samsung and Chinese phones don't really compete head to head that much. I mean, they do in some markets like Hong Kong, but Hong Kong's a small market. For the most part, Samsung's biggest markets are the US, South Korea, its home country. And in both these markets, Chinese phones do not exist. So in those markets, Samsung's really just going against the iPhone and maybe the Google Pixel. And neither Google Pixel nor the iPhone are also pushing new hardware every year. So basically what we have here is the three big mainstream phone brands, Samsung, Apple, Google. They have decided that they don't need to push too hard with hardware. They're gonna, play it safe, make small refinements year on year, and just bank on the fact that they have an established fan base that will be loyal to the brand. Like if you're an iPhone user, or most of them won't even consider an Android phone. They're just going to upgrade to the next iPhone. So the iPhone 16 is a small improvement too, but it's not for people with the iPhone 15. The iPhone 16 is for people with the iPhone 13 or iPhone 12. And I think that's what Samsung is doing here. The S25 Ultra, it's not aimed at someone with the S24 Ultra. It's aimed at someone with the S21 or S22 Ultra. And if you're in that camp, the S25 Ultra is going to bring a pretty nice upgrade. Now, as for the other two phones, the S25 Plus and S25, I tested it briefly for a couple of minutes, but the hardware is exactly the same as before. So it's completely software improvements there. So I don't even think I'm going to talk about that until maybe I get a review unit in. I think right now, S25 Ultra is the only phone worth kind of paying attention to. So yeah, that's about it for this relatively short video. And the reason I'm filming this outside is because I'm actually in Osaka right now. So my Samsung briefing was in Hong Kong, and then after the briefing, I didn't want to stay overnight in Hong Kong, so I just flew to Osaka for a couple of nights. And Japan is really funny like this. So I'm just randomly on the street outside my hotel, and there's like this art installation with a Super Famicom, Super Nintendo with Street Fighter 2 Turbo right here. And because Japan is so safe, you can have all this out here in the middle of the night, and it's fine. Nobody's gonna steal this. So yeah, anyway, that's about it for this video. I will get my hands on the S25 Ultra where I will give it a full review. Like I said, I know a lot of you guys are going to be disappointed that S25 Ultra seems like it's like recycling the phone. But I do think all the software bits will add up to more than the sum of its parts, and maybe it will give you a very polished overall experience. But we will see. But we already know like the cameras, I don't think it's going to beat the Vivo X200 Pro or anything. So yeah, that's about it for this video. I will be back with more on S25 Ultra. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching.